December the 8th, and we're doing the tutorial for the 517. And as I always say, we sound like a broken record. We hit them again. We hit them again. The 517 came in Missouri evening draw. All right. I predicted for evening by tracking, and we're hitting on evenings, okay? And what we do is we take 22 numbers and we do the 1-1 rundown on those 22 numbers. And on those 22 numbers, we have all 1,000 numbers and their possible combinations of pick 3. And it's simple and easy to use. We can track all 1,000 numbers, and we never have to guess what number we playing and why we playing it, because we can track them off 22 easy columns. And that's why I say we the home of no tic-tac-toes, no date sums, no grids, no flips, and no multiple 100 different rundowns that they have out there to try to predict what number is coming in the next day. The system not set up like that. It's set up for you to track the numbers to me and find out, work with the law of average and see how the numbers are actually rotating. Okay, and that's what we use the pick 3 at a glance for. We track the actual 1,000 numbers, and we use the 1-1 rundown on those 22 numbers I mentioned, and we can always know why we're playing our numbers. And if we miss a number, we can strategize and improve on how to hit and do better the next time, which make us all better players. And that's the same thing we did with the 517, okay? And by working with the law of average, we find out what numbers are left. Actual numbers, no guessing numbers, no guessing routine. You're tracking the actual 1,000 numbers, seeing what's left, putting them in a bucket list, and use those numbers to hit. And once you hit, you continuously have a bucket list of numbers to pull from, the actual numbers of the 1,000 numbers, okay? So here's the date. It's December the 8th, 2022. Yesterday, evening draw, December 7th, 2022, was 517. That's a straight, all right? And it came, and I like to tell last time that this number come like this so you can see how the numbers rotate and how long it takes them to rotate. Last time this 517 came, Missouri evening draw, was September 29th, 2021. Okay? So that gives you an idea. When you're tracking the actual 1,000 numbers, you will begin to see the truth of how these numbers rotate. You'll see the truth about how long it takes you to hit a number. You'll see the truth on what front pairs and back pairs and single numbers, how they're rotating, so you'll know the best way to look at how to hit them. And with this system, I've hit straight more than any other system that I've used by tracking the front pairs, the back pairs, the single pairs, and tracking the single numbers. And it's all done simple and at a glance, okay? So this is a straight. It can come 6 different ways. It can come 517 like it did. It come 571, 175, 157, 715, or 751. All right? Now, what we're going to do with those 22 numbers I said, you do the 1-1 rundown on them. And with those 22 numbers, with the 1-1 rundown, you got all 1,000 numbers and their possible combinations, and you got 22 columns. And when you do the 1-1 rundown, here's the base number. One of these base numbers will always be in the rundown, so you'll know where to find this 517. And what you're going to do, this 1-1 rundown is powerful because it allows you to put all the numbers in a straight numerical order. It's the best rundown to me that's to use to get the 1,000 numbers and see everything at a glance and all in numerical order. Everything with pick 3 at a glance is in numerical order, easy for you to track. It's trackable, doable, and teachable. So we're going to add 1 to each one of these numbers, starting with the 5. 1 to 5 is 6, 1 to 6 is 7, 1 to 7 is 8, 1 to 8 is 9. And 1 to 9 is 10, but you don't use the 1, you use a 0. Then you just count straight down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And the same, when you get to 5 at the bottom, 5 at the top, you're done. Same here, you're just counting down. Adding 1, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0, 1. 1 at the top, 1 at the bottom. Same thing here, 7, 8, 9, 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 at the bottom, 7 at the top. See how simple that is? Everything is numerical order. Everything's easy to add. And all in the same number at the bottom, you get at the top, you're done. All right? So what we're looking for is what base, one of these base numbers is in this rundown you just did. And the base number that's in the rundown that we just did, one of these base numbers, and I'll call them out. You got 012, 013, 014, 015, 016, 017, 018, 024, 025, 026, 027, and 037. That's 12 straights. And then you have 10 doubles. And doubles are two like numbers of the pick three, like 001, 002, 003, 004, 005. Triple zeros, 011, 022, 033, 044. Those are 10 numbers. Now we're looking for where this 517 is going to be in those 22 columns. And you're looking for the base number in this rundown, and here it is. Oh, there it is, 026. 062. And there's the 026, and it's in column 10. All right? So when you see it's in a different form, but it's the same number, just one of the 6 ways that this 026 can come. All right? It's one of the 6 ways that 026 can come, but everything's in numerical order. And you see it's column 10. You're going to look for, you got the 026, and when you do the 1-1 rundown, it's going to show as 571. It won't show as 517. Same number. It's just one of the ways the numbers come. If you do the 1-1 rundown on this 026, it's going to show as 571. And here's the 571. Same number. Just a different way it could come. So here, we're going to go to column 10 and look for the 026 on the straights. Here's column 10. There's the 026. And we're looking for the 571. And there it is. Bam, you're done. All 1,000 numbers are right here. And you can look at them at a glance. The beauty of this workout system is that everything is in numerical order. All these numbers. This is your 1,000 sheet here. That at a glance you can see what's going on with at any time when one of those 1,000 numbers drop, you can find in what column it's in, and you'll know what's going on with it. So the thing is now, how do you get the 1,000 numbers? You got to look at, when you do the 1-1 rundown on these columns here, you got 10 numbers, but each one of these straights can come 6 different ways. So you got 10 times 6 gives you 60 numbers at a glance in one column are those 1,000 numbers. So 12 times 60 right here, 12 times 60 is 720. All right? There's 720 of those 1,000 numbers you're looking at a glance where you don't have to do any guesswork. You know where all those 720 numbers are and what column they are in. Now with the doubles, you got 10 of those. And they can come 3 different ways, all right? So you're going to, for triples can only come one way of the 10 numbers. So you're going to have 30. You're going to have 3 times 10 going to give you 30. Each one of these columns represent 30 numbers. So 9 times 30 going to give you 270. This 720 and this 270 going to give you the 990 numbers all at a glance. Then this straights, these triples here could only come one way, and there's only 10 of them. You're going to add that 10 to that 990, and you got the 1,000, 990 and 10 gives you the 1,000 numbers that you looking at here, all at a glance. You ain't never got to worry about where the number's at. You ain't never got to worry about guessing a number. That's why you say the tic-tac-toe, the dates, sums, degrees, and the flips. It will never show you what this is going to show you. Because you can strategize with this system. Because you'll always know where the numbers are falling off at what columns. You know, there's no guesswork in these numbers. You're looking at the actual 1,000 numbers. All right? 1 in 1,000 odds. Okay? That's never going to change when you're playing. These numbers having to rotate by the law of average and counting them out and checking them off is never going to change. And no matter what 6 ways these numbers come in, you'll always find it on the column to check it off. All at a glance. Instead of trying to look at 60 numbers at a glance, all you have to do is look at one column at a glance and know one of those 60 numbers came out in that column. Can't get no easier than that. Okay? All at a glance. Now, this here is a monthly sheet. Well, this is the end of the year. I started in June, but this is the end of the year. I started with YouTube doing it 6 months ago. So this is the monthly sheet, and I did one sheet I do a sheet every month to see how the numbers are falling every month. Then I do in 2023, I'll do a January annual sheet where I do mark all the numbers off as they come in every day off each column. So at a glance, I can see where everything is falling for the year. And then I do a monthly sheet to see how everything is falling for a month. All right? So with this monthly sheet, what I look at to see each month, what column no numbers fall off of. Then working with the law of average, if I get a column that ain't hit in 1 month, which is 30 days, of 60 numbers that ain't filled in 1 month, then 2 months, I get a column and it ain't filled. 3 months, I get a column. Then I know where to look when I do hit from my bucket list, from the numbers I gathered over time. There's where I'm going to get my numbers to pick the hit when I hit next time. I'm not going to be trying to guess all these 1,000 numbers, because I can find out what column it didn't come off of, and by the law of average, something's going to fall off that column. So I don't have to guess all these 1,000 numbers to figure out what number I'm going to play. And on average, one of these columns can take, just to show you, can take 3 months, 90 days. If I see a column ain't hit in 90 days, I definitely play this whole column straight box, or I'll play a 50-cent box by the law of average. And the reason being, I know if a column ain't hit in 3 months, something's going to come off the column, or 4 months. It can take 4 months. Just to show you how often these numbers, how long it takes these numbers to hit. And when you plan numbers, you trying to figure out what's hitting the next day, it just ain't going to happen. All right? And the beauty of this, everything in numerical order, and the 1-1 rundown with it, in the Pick 3 world, what you're going to hear about is mirrors and opposite numbers. And this here system works beautifully with the mirrors and the opposite number system. So, or mirrors. You call them mirrors. All right. And what we have is a number line here. And we had 1,000 numbers kind of divided in half. All right. And where you want to look at the mirror opposite number is a 0 opposite 5, 5 opposite 0, 1 opposite 6, 6 opposite 1, 2 opposite 7, 7 opposite 2, 3 opposite 8, 8 opposite 3, 4 opposite 9, 9 opposite 4. It's just like saying the mirror. 5 mirrors are 0, 0 mirrors are 5, 1 mirrors are 6, 6 mirrors are 1, 2 mirrors are 7, 7 mirrors are 2, 3 mirrors are 8, 8 mirrors are 3, 4 mirrors are 9, 9 mirrors are 4. Just opposites. That's it. But the beauty of this here is, on each one of these columns, the mirrors are included, okay? So let's go to this 10 again. You see this 571? The mirror of it is 026. all at a glance. See this 137? The mirror of it is 682. This 248, the mirror of it is 793. Simple reason. 5 is opposite of 0, 0 opposite of 5, a 7 opposite 2, 2 opposite 7, 1 opposite 6, 6 opposite, all at a glance. That's powerful. For a simple reason, if you got a column here ain't filled in 3 months, and you realize that it's mirror and opposite ain't filled, you definitely gonna play those 2 numbers, or those 4 numbers. If you got the 0, 1, 2, the 1, 2, 3, the 5, 6, 7, and 6, 7, 8 that ain't filled, you definitely gonna play those 4, because the likelihood of one of those 4s coming in when you play is great. All at a glance. Everything in numerical order. You can't beat that. No big calculation, no nothing. Once you take these 22 numbers, starting with just this one sheet and following me, starting next year for sure, in your own state with your own numbers, because all state numbers rotate different, and you're going to have to track those numbers to see what the DNA and how those numbers are rotating. Midday going to rotate different from evening. Evening going to rotate different from midday. They're going to cross paths, but that don't mean the number's going to rotate the same. Okay? It's only 1,000 numbers. They can't help but cross paths 2 or 3 times out of the year. It happens about 3 to 4 times out of the year. Just because 125 shows midday and then 125 comes in evening, don't mean that all those 1,000 numbers are rotating the same. It happens. I track. I've been doing this for just a 30-year sheet that I've been working on. I know everything about these numbers and how they actually fall or how they actually rotate. All right? It takes 3 years for these numbers to rotate out, because here's a reality check. You got 1,000 numbers. You got 365 days in a year. If you played a different number every day, you still got 635 of them numbers you ain't going to hit. On average, that's 365, about a third of those 1,000 numbers. That's why it takes 3 years for the numbers roll out. That's why it takes 3 months for a column to hit. Can go 3 months or 4 months. So when you playing these numbers and you falling off numbers and switching numbers trying to hit the next day, you might be falling off a number that's coming in. You just ain't played it long enough. And the only way you're going to know how long to play the numbers is tracking the actual numbers, which you can't get with the tic-tac-toe, the date sums, the grids, the flips, and those multiple different rundowns on them. You just ain't going to get it. But here you get everything all at a glance. Like I said, 60 to 90 days for one column for something to hit off of it. Another column might be 2 months. And the only way you're going to see what's going on with the numbers is tracking the actual 1,000 numbers. The only way. 1,000 numbers, 365 days out of the year. It's only a third of the 1,000 numbers. You got 635 you just ain't going to touch. That's why you have to track the actual numbers. And that's the system I came up with. And I can see everything going on with all those 1,000 numbers. That 571 right here, first time it hit all year. But I had it on my whiteboard to play, and we hit it. Why? Because I'm tracking the actual 1,000 numbers. And I laid out why to play the 571. Because it was other numbers with a 5 and 1 in that hadn't hit. You can strategize with this because you're using the actual 1,000 numbers. There's no other way you're going to be able to do it other than guess with hope and a prayer like I used to do. Okay? Now, again, another reality check. This column, let's go with this column here. All these numbers just straight as they are. 10 of them. And just don't use these numbers. Use any 10 numbers you want to use. If you played them numbers just like they are, every day for 365 days out the year. All on average, you're going to get is 3 of these numbers to come straight. That's telling you the importance of tracking the actual numbers, know what's going on. Because you're only going to get a third of the 10. You got 1,000 numbers, and a third of the 10 is all you can get. And a third of the year is all you can get. So all you're going, on average, going to get 3 of these numbers straight. And the next year after that, on the same column, you might just get 3 different more numbers straight. And the year after that, you might get another 3 straight until all these numbers rotate. But at least by checking off the numbers and knowing what's going on with them, you'll know what numbers ain't hitting and how they're hitting. Like I said, evenings, and that's all I track, the 571. You can do this on midday. You can do this on any draw you want. You can track all of them. But they all going to rotate different. And the only way you're going to know is you're tracking the actual 1,000 numbers. Because you just can't do a third of the numbers and figure out what's going on and play and try to hit. You got to be looking at all of them to play and know how to hit. And like I say, you still ain't going to hit 635 of them. All right? Powerful. If you don't do nothing and you want to start following me and and doing your state, checking your numbers, just follow me with your system and see how I do it. And as I check them off, you check your own state numbers off and see the beauty of this, that you don't have to guess what's going on with the numbers. You'll know what's going on with the numbers without a doubt. But you got to realize you're only going to have 365 that you're going to play, and it's going to still be 635 out there left to play. But you're not looking at all these 635 because they all are in this column in the combinations. So all you got to do is look at the columns to see which of these 635 ain't played. The 6th of the 635 ain't played in each column. That's how that works. That's what I call pick 3 at a glance. I had this sheet for 30 years. I've been playing pick 3 for 30 years, and it's been good to me. I'm blessed to share it with the rest of the world. I guess I'm sharing for the rest of the world. 70 years old, 71. I said I was going to stop counting at 70. But I'm here sharing it with you all. Okay? Now, so if you like what you see, subscribe, hit that bell, so when I post and upload a video, you can follow me, because I come up with other stuff that I add on as I go that I can share with you, you know. So yeah, that's how that one worked. Now, here is another strategy. And it's a simple pick 3 at a glance strategy. And it's tracking the pairs. And just like this 517, it's got 3 different numbers, so you're going to have 3 pairs. You're going to have the 15 here. You're going to mark off the 17 here. And you're going to mark off the 57. Okay? And if you have, let's say, if you have a double, like 112, you're going to mark off the 11, and you're going to mark off the 12. And if you have a triple, you're going to have like triple 2s there. You're going to just circle the double 2s, all right? Now, that's in any of the pairs that's not marked off, and this is a monthly, any of those pairs that are not marked off, you're going to carry them over to the next month. You're going to always know where your pairs that didn't play. So you don't have to ever guess another pair to play if you're playing and you want to play a pair or play pairs. All right? Here is called my single number positioning. This is where I know what numbers fell in what spot and how they fell. So let's say we take the 517 here that came in. We're going to mark the 5 off in the first spot because I did 0 to 9 on 3 columns. Going to mark off the 5. Going to mark off the 1 in the middle and the 7 on the end. And at the end of the month, what number is not marked off is when I'm playing a number, I will always know where to put those numbers at. For instance, let me do this here. I think if I can get this this off. All right, what we're going to do here is 160, 601, and 610. I'm marking this off for here. Okay, say let's take this 160. Say at the end of the month, say I marked off all the numbers but the 6 right here. And I'm playing 160. Quite naturally, I'm going to put that 6 on the front. Because it hadn't fell on the front, I'm going to start playing this 160 along with 601 and 610. For some fact, if that 6 show up and my numbers show up, it's going to probably show up with that 6 on the front. Out of the 3 different ways out of the 6 different ways that 160 can come. All right. Now, front pair, back pair. Again with the 517. This is powerful sheet here too. Very powerful sheet. Very, very powerful sheet. All at a glance. This is a yearly sheet here though. Okay? And as a yearly sheet, what I do is 5-1 here. I'll mark it off on the front. And it's 1-7 on the back. I'll mark it off. And at the end of the year, whatever pair I don't mark off, I know what pairs I'm looking to play front and back. And I make pairs up. If a number don't fall, if the numbers at the top are the same as the numbers at the bottom. Let's say, I'm gonna give you a quick example. The 70 front don't fall, and the 00 back don't fall. What I do is I made it up. And I make a number on my bucket list of 700, 700. Because the likelihood of when those 2 numbers fall, they might fall together. Okay. Same way I look for triples. If I'm looking to play triples, and say, for instance, 00 front don't fall, and 00 back don't fall, all year I'm looking to play triple zeros. I'm put triple zeros on my bucket list to play. But I know that triples only come out 3 times out of a year on a draw. And what I'll probably do is say, triples don't come out to the end of the year, like in December, no triples, because I know 3 of them supposed to come out a year on average. Then I'm definitely going to play them triple zeros in December. Especially if that old front pair and that old back pair ain't failed all that time. So you can track everything. It's simple. You can track everything. Pick 3 is the only thing you can do this on, yeah? That's why I don't invest in nothing else. Pick 4. I do a little with Powerball, Powerball, Lotto, and Omega. And all I buy is 1 ticket on them because they strictly luck. Strictly luck. That's all I buy. And if it's 4 years, 4 years. If not, it's not. But pick 3, I have fun with it and I win with it. That's all I'm going to tell you. I have fun with it and I win with it. A whole lot better than I used to. But this is my system that I put together. And everything's all at a glance. Take about 10 minutes, if that, to put all this together. And this here, what I did is I took all the doubles and I put them in mirror and opposite positions. So at a glance, I know what double and his pair didn't fall,